Hey there, folks. Looks like we're ready to get started over here at Fire and Dice's Legacy Staples Tournament. This is Chris and Josh in the booth.
Hey,
So we've got Joseph Moreno on Temur Delver.
I'm so confused.
I
right
am
now.
very confused as well. Austin McKee on Mono Red Prison. These are like completely opposite of what I expected both of these players to be playing, but this is what they submitted.
Sure. Sometimes you gotta go against what people expect from you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Joseph Moreno, very famous for playing Dredge here at
Very famous.
in Southern California at least, but he's also, I think he's one of the best Dredge.
Most famous.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so and then Austin McKee is a fan of casting Noble Hierarchs, man, and I am not sure I've ever seen him play anything related to Lightning Bolt ever,
Red
or
cards.
like red cards in general. So this is definitely a departure from the norm for him. But I mean, that's what Legacy will do. I mean, it has so many powerful and diverse strategies.
Yeah.
You can kind of play almost anything that you have access to, right? So.
Yeah, and also there's not really like a good Noble Hierarch deck in Legacy.
Agreed. That's probably one of the biggest reasons. I think that for me at least, Mox Diamond is like the end all be all of Noble Hierarchs in Legacy. Like it just enables so many busted strategies, and I think that's just overall better.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean there's playable Moxes and like soul lands.
Yep.
And you can't really like dirtle around with little creature combos.
Right. And then I think
Especially since Deathrite is banned.
that's what I was gonna suggest as well. Is like I think that the main determining factor is Deathrite Shaman. Everything else, being equal, it's really just the fact that we just don't have a Deathrite Shaman, and so the dorks on turn one are just like pale in comparison. So. But yeah, no, certainly Joseph is on Temur. I'm like looking at his deck list right now. It's a bit of a wild trip for me too, because I've never seen him play, at least on stream. I've never seen him play anything beyond Dredge. So
Yeah.
I know that he's played like Blue Red Delver or Is It Delver before, and he's dabbled in like the Delver strategies, but I've never just seen him actually play it.
The old Delver dabble.
Yeah, the old Delver dabble. But yeah, I think we're in for a little bit here. He's got the classic setup of Delvers and Mongoose, and the non-classic setup, I guess he's only playing 2 Tarmogoyf and then 2 True Train Nemesis as his main threats in the main.
Sure.
Main threats
And,
in the main.
Joseph, unfortunately, mulling to 5 here,
Yep.
which would be probably okay if he was playing Dredge,
Yeah. True.
but not going to help him out so much with this Delver.
No,
action.
not at all. And Austin, I mean, he's gonna feel it pretty early on here. We've got Chromox into Chromox, or
And
land into Chromox,
Trinisphere.
Chromox into Trinisphere, and that's gonna severely diminish Joseph's ability to play this game.
That'll do it, folks.
I mean, if he has a Force of Will here, that's great, but if not,
he does not.
well, there we go.
He's got he does have multiple lands, so he will eventually be able to cast something.
Mhm.
But we might just see a scoop here.
Just like maybe not reveal the hand at all.
Yeah, just
That's-
not reveal what deck you're on.
That's super possible. I actually don't disagree with that. I think given the context of what you've seen, like this is already a bad matchup. Austin is on 1 card, however.
I guess maybe you wait for him to
Play
yeah
a threat.
Yeah, he is on 1 card, and you do wait for him to show you a threat of some kind, which he does actually have. He's got this old War Boss.
War Boss, yeah, War Boss it up, sure.
Daddy War Boss.
It's not a daddy. It's like Rabble Master Jr. really.
Well, Rob Master is the big daddy.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Whoa. Just throwing that word around like it doesn't mean anything, man. All right, so here comes the War Boss. It's going to create a token here, much like the Rabble Master that preceded it. Creates a token, and that token specifically must attack this turn.
So Joseph probably taking a read of this card.
Mhm.
Maybe has never seen it before.
It's possible. Although, to be honest, the mono red prison lists have definitely converted over to the 8 Rabble Master
Sure.
like package. Like that's just
No more dragons, all goblins.
yeah. I mean, there are people specifically in this room that will still play the dragons, but the 8 Rabble Master set is like that's like what everyone is playing. That's
Sure.
like almost not contested.
Yeah, it's a little more, a little easier to cast. Like your 3 mana slot is the sort of spot you want to be, especially you're like trying to cast these Trinispheres.
Yeah.
You're trying to like resolve threats. Like,
Yeah, it's excellent on the play, and it's excellent after lock pieces. Like it's just it's a good old. Did he draw a second one? I think he just drew a second one.
that'd be pretty good.
So
Additional
That's-
daddy war bosses.
yeah, the daddiest. So we're gonna get a couple more goblins here.
I
and-
assume that Joseph doesn't have any sort of sweepers in his deck.
No, does not. Fork Bolt is like the closest thing to a sweeper, but
Sure.
that's obviously not going to serve him serving much purpose here. I mean, like back-to-back lightning bolts might dig him out, but not really. There's too much of a clock as it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's already a 4 power clock
Yep.
besides the things, and it would take him multiple turns to
Yeah.
cast
Absolutely.
2 lightning bolts.
And so importantly, well, not importantly, what's important in this matchup as well is, or I'm sorry, in that game specifically, is that Joseph didn't give up a lot of information. He had polluted Delta into Wasteland, and although you could narrow down that spectrum pretty quickly,
Well, it probably just means a Delver deck of some kind.
well, polluted Delta can show up in other decks as well, but it's more likely to
but
show
not-
up in
Not
Delver.
polluted Delta Wasteland.
Yeah, I guess so.
That,
I
that
was
kind of points out Delver to me.
true. I guess that's fair. Yeah, I guess you can't. You just put him on that, and I think you'd
Maybe a Stoneblade deck, possibly.
to an extent, like so I know that there is a player in the room that is playing something similar to that. He has Wastelands, he has Stoneblades or Stoneforge Mystics, etc. But yeah, we're gonna head over to the sideboard, and if you guys are paying, or you guys are listening to now, you guys are also on Twitch on your desktop. You guys have access to the Cardboard Live feature, which is pretty sweet. You guys get to take a look at deck lists and sideboards from the comfort of your own home.
Wow.
We do not have access to that. I need to figure that out and make sure that I always bring the deck list into the room. But let's go over Joseph Moreno's sideboard very quickly. So we have a Grim Lava Man, 2 Sulfur Elemental, a Grafdigger's Cage, Sylvan Library, 3 Pyroblast, a Vapor Snag, 2 Ancient Grudge, 3 Surgical Extraction, and a Blazing Volley, which is actually not bad in this matchup necessarily. But anyway, I do obviously love Ancient Grudge in this particular matchup. That's fairly excellent. I actually don't even mind Grim Lavamancer because, like, if you stick it on turn 1, you could just snipe Rabble Masters and Legion War Bosses
Yeah, sure.
kind of ad infinitum. Well, not ad infinitum, but like for a while. And then the Blazing Volley is also reasonable at dealing with like the goblins that get left behind. When you kill, when you bolt or when you lava man one of the goblins. So that's reasonable. And in Austin McKee's sideboard, I mean he's basically main deck for this matchup. But let's take a look at what he's got. In the sideboard, he's got access to his own Sulfur and Elementals. He's got 3 of those, 3 Scab Clan Berserker, which is pretty good. 2 Ensnaring Bridge, 3 Lay Down on the Void, and then 4 Abrade. I don't know. It's actually kind of tough. I don't mind Scab Clan Berserker, but it's not like particularly good in this matchup. I guess it's fine.
Yeah, it's medium.
Yeah. Ensnaring Bridge is probably not necessary in this matchup. He didn't see green, so if he doesn't know like what style of Delver he's playing against, Ensnaring Bridge is less appealing. But if he knew he was playing against green, then he probably wants those.
Sure.
Ley Line of the Void, probably unnecessary, and Abrades are like possible if he has cuts from the main deck. And again, just judging from what we've seen, he probably doesn't have very many cuts out of the main deck. I mean, this is a lean mean machine. This mono red prison list. So I mean, maybe he doesn't want Pia and Kirin on the draw. That's reasonable. He doesn't want Hazaret on the draw. He could bring in Abrades just as additional removal.
Oh, there we go.
But yeah, what's up?
I was trying to figure out how to access Cardboard Live from the mobile.
Oh, can you? Do extensions work on mobile?
Working on it. Yeah, so
Oh, that's interesting.
if you go, let me see. Is there any way to get it on the sideways view? Not really. So yeah,
Not really.
but if you put it in like full view on the right hand side, or not full view, the upright view, I guess, where the stream is smaller.
Mhm.
On the right hand side, there's like a little thing of magic cards, and you can click on that, and
Yep.
that opens the extension.
Yeah, it's like a small hand, like three magic
Yeah,
cards,
3
like
cards.
The back. Yeah, for sure. So sweet. Yeah, like I said, Cardboard Live has really kind of elevated the streaming experience, both for Paper Magic and for Arena or Magic Online. So we're testing it out for one of the first paper tournaments, like at the local level. Obviously, you've probably seen this if you've watched any Grand Prix streams or even SCG, which is currently airing at the moment. But like they also wanted feedback on like how does it work at the local level and when you're working with a smaller crew, smaller production, stuff like that. And
Yeah, if it's still feasible or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. And I was more than happy to kind of like help them out with that. And we've got everything. We've got you can obviously view deck lists. You can see the meta analytics. That's actually in the very center of the of your screen. Or I'm sorry, yeah, of your viewing of the whatever area. You can click the trophy that'll give you standings, and then you can click it looks like the Google Chrome symbol. You can click that, and that gives you the meta analytics as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it's
probably
not
a pie chart.
yeah, the meta it's not perfect, and they explained that to me as well when I was kind of like going over it with them. But but it's serviceable, right? So
Sure. And all right, so uh, looks like both players kept their openers,
Yep.
and Joseph is pondering at the moment,
hmm
pondering whether he should keep this daze.
I think
Looks like it's an additional daze. So.
yeah, I think he needs to probably find a force more than he needs at days. Although days is probably fine. The problem is even like last game, Austin had like double Chrome Mox. Like if he has double Chrome Mox Mountain, he's just gonna chalice Joseph anyway. So a days is not like the days might not be enough, just to be honest. So we have to see him find something else. But he decides no. Oh, he has a force of will. Okay, so he should be okay. But like he does need to find additional pieces here just to make sure he can survive into the the second and third turn. But Austin actually does not have anything on turn one, which is kind of surprising for this deck, right?
Yeah, well, at least from the Delver side, it's sort of the classic. You need to keep a hand with protection. So
Yep.
now Austin is sort of assuming that Joseph has some sort of protection, whether that be daze or force of will.
Yeah.
And he'll be looking to tag whichever sort of lock piece Austin leads with.
Sure. And I guess also to an extent, if Joseph doesn't start with like a turn one threat, Austin can actually just like, what? Oh, Mongoose.
Mongoose.
He could actually just play like hate pieces on turns 2, 3, 4. Like eventually, Joseph will run out of both counter spells and then ways to kind of interact with those lock pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So and Austin, his deck is literally full of them. His deck is mono hate pieces.
Yeah.
So he could just like play that slow grindy game because any one of them is basically game over for Joseph. But now with a turn 2 Mongoose, he probably does need to respect a little bit more of what Joseph's bringing to the table.
A little bit, I think. Mongoose is not the hugest threat.
Not yet, at least. Yeah. I guess just in general, huh?
Yeah. Well,
He's not who he used to be, the old goose.
Eventually it'll be a 3/3.
Mm-hmm.
Austin's running out a Rabble Master here into it.
Yeah, I think that's a serviceable bait spell for sure. It's
like certainly counter that.
Yeah, the Mongoose can't tussle with it for sure. He doesn't even tussle with the tokens as of yet. And then it's a really fast clock. So Joseph has to respect it. If he has the daze, I definitely daze this. Oh, okay, interesting.
Looks like he's opting not to.
Does he have the lightning bolt? Maybe.
I think he might. Yeah, he does. You see it pulled to the front of his hand there.
Sure. So lightning bolt is a way to explain that, but
he also has a wasteland, so he'll be able to sort of put Austin back.
Okay. No, I like it. Okay, so I think we're seeing kind of like the way that Delver's supposed to play, right? Like it's a tempo game, and they're just trying to maximize value out of each spell in order to make it so that your opponent has less turns to interact with what you're doing, which is similar to what Mono Red is doing, but they're a little they're more upfront about how much they hate you. So
I don't think Joseph's going to be able to get to Threshold this turn. But
he doesn't have a cantrip. Nope. So we're gonna get in for 1. And Austin's gonna have to rebuild again, but I think he has a Simian Spirit Guide, so he has a 3-drop available. He has a 3 cost spell he could play if he wants.
Looks like he's gonna choose not to, respecting the days here.
Yeah, for sure. I don't blame him. So the Mongoose is gonna hit Threshold here more than likely with just the fetch land, but maybe I don't know. Yeah, okay. So I was gonna say, is there a potential that Joseph's not interested because he wants to get maximum brainstorm value? But
yeah, well,
I don't
not
think
having
that's
it
the
right
case.
now. Yeah, not having the brainstorm right now, and having things that he wants to cast in his hand. Like
sure.
he found a Delver. I think he might have found a Grim Lavamancer as well.
like I said, Grim Lavamancer, excellent.
Those are things you want to get onto the battlefield.
Yeah, especially pre-chalice, because let's just say Austin goes for he draws a land and then Austin goes for a chalice here. There's actually a distinct possibility that Joseph maybe lets it resolve because he has enough threats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like at the moment with with Delver and Lavamancer
and a Lava Man. Yeah, for sure. Although Lavamancer Mongoose is kind of a non-bow, but it is what it is, right? So there's a Trinisphere, and Joseph can certainly he can daze. I thought for sure Austin had the Spirit Guide, but I guess not. So a land, or not a land. Ponder was the draw there for Joe.
No, I think he drew a land. I'm not sure what that other card is.
Oh yeah, it's a spell snare. It looks like it was another trop, and we've got enough dudes here.
Did he even flip for the Delver? It looked like he just.
It looked like he just drew his card, to be honest. But for sure he drew a trop because he had one in hand already.
Yeah. So here you can just get in for 3. You know,
Mhm.
it's fairly free.
Yeah.
And then potentially hope to flip the Delver next turn.
Yep.
There's kind of a non-bow with the Grim Lavamancer and the
Yep.
the Mongoose.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like actually we're gonna get another Trinisphere here, and yeah,
That's gonna stick.
Joseph's got nothing for it, and I think that's it's bad, but I mean we got to do what we got to do, right? So we're gonna exile 2 cards, and we're gonna hit the Goblin just so the Delver can start to get in. But we're gonna hopefully we just flip the Delver. Ooh,
Oh.
Lightning Bolt's a sick one.
Easy game.
This clock is very fast. This is 6 in the air, putting
Well,
Austin to 5. Actually,
is this
that
lethal?
lethal? No. He needs a land.
No, this.
Oh,
is
he has a
lethal.
land. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
lethal. Okay.
He can. He has to tap 3 for it though.
You have to pay 3, buddy. Oh wait.
Oh
no.
Now it's not lethal.
Now it's not lethal. Jeez. Oh yeah, we definitely miss lethal here.
This
But
does put him at 2
it will put him at 2.
or 1, I guess.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna attack.
No reason to not attack with.
Yeah,
Lava
at
Man.
this point, right? Yeah. So now Austin's at 1, and then yeah, the Lava Man's gonna ensure it. But yeah, we definitely miss lethal there. That's okay. I think given the context of Austin's hand, like the only thing that beats him there is
Some kind of sweeper.
But the sweeper only does. Oh no, the sweeper does do 3. So because it's
Yeah, if it's fiery
confluence.
confluence.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, kind of a significant mistake, but it didn't end up coming to bite him in the ass.
Well, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't necessarily mean that Joseph would straight up lose. His
course,
opponent
yeah.
would be at 1,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd have at least 2 more bolts in his deck, I think. So,
Yep, 2 more bolts and a fork bolt.
Yeah.
I think fork bolt's fine in this matchup anyway, but yeah.
but yeah, possibly opening the door to getting punished there.
Yeah, sure. Like if Joseph, if there's a sweeper there, Joseph bricks 1 turn and then Chandra resolves, we're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
That's like a big deal. But then if Joseph still has draw steps, but his draw steps are extremely costly because of the Trinisphere, right? So it just it's kind of one of those weird spots to be in. But thankfully we didn't get there to that point at least, and Joseph's moving on to game 3 here, and Austin's gonna be on the play, which is really insane. Like that's
So insane.
yeah, like the mono red prison deck when it's on the play, it feels really difficult to
It's just
lose.
unbeatable.
It feels really difficult to
You
lose.
can't ever lose.
Can't ever lose. And like and so like yeah, so
But you do have to have a very specific hand in
true.
that situation.
sure,
Like,
sure.
you have to, possibly is that something you want to mull to? Do you want to like mull
Mm-hmm.
to turn 1 chalice? I think you might in this particular matchup.
Yeah, I think in just being on the play and given the matchup, like turn 1 chalice is so backbreaking that you might just go for it. And given that Joseph wouldn't have days up, he would have to 2-for-1 himself. It's probably even worth it to mulligan because it like mulligans your opponent as well,
Sure.
right? But yeah, given that, so our players you finished shuffling up, and if you're just joining us, thank you so much for sticking with it. This is Legacy round 3 of 6 over at Fire and Dice. This is Chris and Josh on the mic.
On the 1s and 2s.
On the 1s and 2s, the ting tongs. So Joseph Moreno playing Temur Delver, Austin McKee on Mono Red Prison. This is game 3. So after this, we'll see which player can kind of outmaneuver the other.
Well, it looks like we've got a turn 1 Trinisphere on Austin's side.
Yep. And does Joseph have a force?
I do see it.
I do
back
see it.
there.
Sure. So Austin has to go pretty low for this, and he basically he goes to 4, right? 1, 2, 3. No,
Yeah.
he goes to 3 cards. Sorry.
Yeah, 3 cards remaining in
Yeah.
hand.
And Joseph dodges 1 bullet, but the deck is full of them. So
I wonder if Joseph had to exile his only threat. It looks like.
but probably worthy. And then it looks like Austin does not have a follow up here. Kind of put it all on that Trinisphere, but I think, like I was mentioning,
turn brainstorm.
I think it's very, very important. Yeah, I don't like the Interturn Brainstorm, but I don't think you absolutely yeah, you have an Ancient Grudge. I don't think you need to Interturn Brainstorm here.
He just it was off the brainstorm.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, like especially if you have an Ancient Grudge, like you probably don't even care about what Austin resolves unless it's a Rabble Master. But in that case, you can just bolt.
Yeah,
right?
he's got a bolt available. Joseph has a very reactive hand at the moment.
Sure. Lava Man's okay.
Yeah, Lava Man. I didn't see that in the mix there, but that's pretty good.
There's a Chromox, doesn't do a whole lot. He can cast a Simian Spirit Guide. Oh no.
It's like he's going to not do that.
that's
a wise choice.
That's an ape shaman, man. That guy gets in.
A wise choice into the face of the onboard Lavamancer.
Yeah, but then Joseph's on 1 card left, so maybe like at a certain point in time, your goblins can. I don't know. Never mind.
Well, it looks like Austin has multiple fiery confluences in his hand, so you may just want to hold on to that for mana.
Yeah, but I don't mind Chromoxing either, but I guess you just don't want to play it in the face of like Abrades or Ancient Grudges in this particular instance, right? So did Joe find a second threat? No?
Mongoose.
He did find a goose. And again, the tension here is real. Like he has to shrink the goose to use his Lavamancer, but it is what it is. So there's a Rabble Master.
Rabble Master is fine. A fine choice.
All right, so this is I like this. Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and exile one of the Fiery Confluence. If Joseph has Daze, then Austin Justice is fine. That goes. Oh, looks like we're gonna grudge it instead.
So yeah, the Imprint is a trigger.
Yep, it's on the stack at the moment. Sure.
So we're gonna think about potentially grudging that, so he can't actually tap it for mana. He also has Spell Pierce available, so he could do some crazy stuff like that. Although it wouldn't necessarily stop from resolving.
Yeah, and I think so. If Joseph's plan is to pierce this, or not pierce, I'm sorry, to daze this, then it's gonna go on. So does Joseph miss the point here? Like because he could have bolted, right?
Yeah, he could have
at the beginning of combat.
Chose not to.
Yeah, it chose not to, or is maybe not just aware of like how like that's not. I don't know. Another land off the top for Joe is bad.
It's not the worst. Yeah, I mean, it fuels the graveyard for both his onboard cards. So he could. He can't turn on Threshold at the moment.
Yeah,
he has Ancient Grudge. Yeah, he actually can. So you can Ancient Grudge that and then sack both his fetch lands, and that turns on Threshold.
It's probably worth it. But he wants to keep the Spell Pierce up, which is probably fine as well.
Well, that doesn't take it down.
But he can't. But he can't cast like. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about the mana that's just available straight up.
Yeah, the mana that he has on the board.
Yeah. Hey man, take it easy. All right, with that attitude. So. All right, so it's gonna be one of each
and a Trop.
Yeah.
Which lets him hold up that Spell Pierce we were so concerned about.
So concerned.
It's a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
Mega concerned. All right, so the goose is now loose. Or I guess he's always been loose, but now he's nimble.
He's looser.
Yeah.
He's always nimble. Now he's loose.
We're gonna get in for 4 here.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't love that because we could just have another Rabble Master,
Yeah,
here, which is exactly what happens actually.
Yeah, follow
like
up
we drew
Rabble
it up.
Master, War Boss. Like you do kind of want that red mana available.
Yeah, I think that definitely that punishes Joe quite a bit actually.
I mean, it is just another token. It's not the worst thing that could happen.
Why is Austin at 26? That makes 0 sense.
But Joseph has let Austin have multiple goblin tokens and multiple damage in for free, basically.
16
in spots where he could have stopped it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I think it's about this in particular. Once we've got into this stage of the game, it's a battle of inches, and I think Joseph is like a little behind there because he can't even really attack with the So if he attacks with the goose. Oh no, never mind. Because I was thinking if
he attacks with the goose and Austin blocks, he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Never mind.
You're not forced to do any actions.
No, you're right. So Austin goes to 13 here.
And
did Austin have a tomb this game? No, he did not. Okay.
No.
All right. So now I don't know what is in Joe's hand, but
it's Fork Bolt.
Fork Bolt. This kind of cleans up this kind of cleans this up nicely, huh? What do you think?
It does, but. Again, those were sort of free goblins
that
he gave Austin.
That he could have. Yeah, he couldn't. He didn't have to let Austin have those. And now Goose back down to being a 1.
And Austin left with a
Fiery
Confluence in the hand,
which honestly could be very good, but is not going to be in particular here.
Yeah, not against Joseph's Spell Pierce.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna get in. This feels like a good time to get in.
Well, I wonder if Joseph is going to
send both.
Have learned his lesson.
Yeah.
Leave the Lava Man.
Yeah. Leave the Lava Man home, man. Like,
maybe. I mean, it's possible that he thought there was like no way he was going to activate the Lava Man to like reduce his clock, but with all the threats.
There's a way.
From Austin's side being
sure.
like 2-for-1s basically, you gotta kind of leave it back.
Yeah, definitely. And so Austin here, Austin drew his 4th land. I mean, the Confluence seems safe, but I don't think it is.
Seems safe to cast. I mean, I think you just cast it.
Yeah.
Like, if there's interaction, like, so be it. Because you're running into a daze, you're running into, like...
Sure.
Force of Will is not as live here since, Joseph only has 2 cards.
He only
in
has
hand,
2 cards, yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of Spell Pierces and Dazes to get that.
Mm-hmm. So that's...
I don't think you necessarily wait on it there.
Oh, has a little lesson. So
get that clock
well,
going.
it depends. If he drew a burn spell, then this makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm. Oh, he did draw a burn spell, in fact.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he can.
I think I play my land to represent Force of Will.
Yeah, I agree. I like that a lot.
All right, mountains.
Mountains, sure.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Everything and all of these are mountains as well. And I think actually, does Joe care? Joe doesn't even care. I think he's just gonna attack with the goose.
Yeah, you can just leave your goose back, and actually, if Austin doesn't block, it's just lethal.
Yeah, that's true. 3, 6, 8. Yep. Yeah, mountains ended up being fine here.
Good enough, mountains.
Good enough. You done good, mountains. You done good.
Joseph doing his dredge math at the moment. It's like, if I dredge 6, how many cards will I get? Do I get bridge triggers here?
Yeah. I was literally just thinking that. So he bolts instead, and he's gonna put Austin on a 2-turn clock. I mean, what could Austin draw here? Is that a Rabble Master?
He did draw a Rabble Master.
Okay.
Which
is not enough.
Gives him the blocks.
It gives him a block. That's true, but is it enough?
I don't know. I mean,
Spell Snare's an awful draw there.
I mean, he had Spell Snare in his hand forever. I'm not even sure why that was in his deck, actually.
It does. So on the draw, actually on the draw, it's awful.
Yeah,
you can't get the turn 1 Chalice, right? Yeah, I don't know. So Joseph Moreno, he slides past that one. He got a little lucky there, I think.
Well, I mean, he had the proper disruption. I think at all the right points in the game.
Yeah.
And like we saw, Austin, went down to 4 card, or basically, mulled 2 cards out of his hand to try and cast that Trinisphere on turn 1.
No, that's true.
And was not able to resolve it. So
100%
he was,
true.
Down cards already.
Yeah, I think it cost him 4 cards to get a Trinisphere into play, and it only cost Joseph 2 to answer it, right? So I mean, that's just straight up card advantage.
Well, I mean, it only cost him 2 cards because he cast the card and
I'm sorry.
He played
you're
a
right.
land.
Yeah, you're right.
But 2 extra cards to sort of get that going.
Sure.
What is that card at the top of Joseph's sideboard there?
Is that Blazing Volley?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, Blazing Volley also fine versus like the
Gobos.
dudes. Yeah, the little goblins that get left behind. I mean, maybe that's another reason why he didn't really care about like leaving the goblins around, because he has access to Blazing Volley, so he can just like. But yeah,
no F's given. But he could have. I mean, he did give those away for free. Basically, let him hit him a couple times for free.
True.
And then let him get those goblins for free. So it was. Could have been tighter. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying, Joseph.
Tighten up, boys.
Tighten
up, boys.
Tighten up.
All right. So looks like we do have like about 20 minutes left on the clock. We will try to get another match for you guys. In the meantime, we will step out of the booth and find that for you. 1 second.
All right.